Right now, tucked under your ribcage, sits the single most overworked organ in your entire body. It's your liver, and it's running over 500 jobs at once, without a break, without a complaint, and without you ever noticing. But here's the part nobody tells you. The moment you swallow 1 spoon of olive oil, your liver changes its behavior. Not tomorrow, not next week, within roughly 90 minutes. And what it does next is either quietly protecting you, or if you get one detail wrong, doing almost nothing at all. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand your liver better than most people ever will, and you'll know the exact way to actually make that spoon count. Forget the word detox. Your liver isn't a sponge that soaks up toxins. Think of it as a high-tech oil refinery sitting on a river of your blood. Everything you eat and drink flows straight into this refinery first. Fats, sugars, alcohol, medications, all of it gets sorted, repackaged, neutralized, or shipped out. And like any refinery, if the wrong crude comes in day after day, the machinery starts to gum up. That gumming up has a name: fat accumulating inside liver cells, and it is stunningly common. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, now officially renamed metabolic-associated fatty liver disease, affects roughly 1 in 4 adults on Earth. Most of them have no idea, no pain, no symptoms, just a refinery slowly clogging in the dark. So the real question isn't, is olive oil healthy? The question is, what does that spoonful actually do inside the refinery? The first 90 minutes. Here's where it gets fascinating. Olive oil is dominated by a single fat called oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat. When it hits your gut, it's absorbed and delivered toward the liver, and unlike a flood of sugar or saturated fat, oleic acid doesn't force your liver into panic storage mode. Instead, research on monounsaturated fats shows they're preferentially burned for energy rather than crammed into storage. In plain terms, your refinery treats olive oil like clean fuel it can process, not sludge it has to hide in the tank. But the oil is just the delivery truck. The real cargo, a group of molecules called polyphenols, and this is where the magic and the misinformation begins. In 2005, researchers at the Monell Chemical Senses Center in Philadelphia noticed something bizarre. A newly pressed, high-quality olive oil produced a sharp, stinging sensation at the back of the throat, the exact same throat sting caused by liquid ibuprofen. That wasn't a coincidence. They'd discovered a compound they named oleocanthal and published in the journal Nature that it acts on the same anti-inflammatory pathway as ibuprofen, blocking the COX enzymes that drive inflammation. Let that sink in. A natural compound in real olive oil behaves like a mild, natural anti-inflammatory, and chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the core engines that ages your liver, your arteries, and your brain. So that peppery cough you sometimes get from good olive oil, that's not a flaw, that's the medicine talking. But now the twist that changes everything. Not all olive oil carries this cargo. The oleocanthal, the polyphenols, the throat sting, they live almost entirely in extra virgin olive oil, the kind that's cold-pressed and unrefined. The cheap, light, ultra-refined stuff, much of that protective machinery is stripped out during processing. So if you've been drizzling pale, flavorless oil expecting a health miracle, you've essentially been sending your refinery an empty delivery truck. 1 spoon of the right oil is worth more than a bottle of the wrong one. And here's the gut punch. Extra light and pure olive oil are often marketing costumes for heavily processed oil. The word that matters isn't light or pure, it's extra virgin. Miss that and you're paying premium prices for a stripped-down decoy.
Let's continue with the cellular cleanup crew. Here's the deepest layer, the part that separates a casual health tip from real science. Inside every liver cell is a self-cleaning system called autophagy. Picture a night shift cleanup crew that roams the city of your cells, dragging out damaged parts and recycling them into fresh material. When this crew slows down, junk piles up, and cells age faster. The 2016 Nobel Prize in Medicine went to Yoshinori Osumi for decoding exactly how this cleanup system works. And laboratory studies suggest olive oil polyphenols may help activate the very pathways, like AMPK, that switch this cleanup crew on. So a spoon of extra virgin olive oil isn't just fuel. It may be a wake-up call to the janitors keeping your liver cells young. And here's why that matters right now. This cleanup crew naturally clocks out as you age, which is exactly when cellular junk starts piling up fastest. Anything that nudges those janitors back to work isn't just healthy, it's a quiet act of rebellion against the aging clock itself. Now, analogies are nice, but does this hold up in real humans? Because that's where most health claims collapse. Enter PrediMed, one of the largest nutrition trials ever run, following over 7,400 people across Spain, published in the New England Journal of Medicine. One group ate a Mediterranean diet supplemented with extra virgin olive oil. The result? That group saw a roughly 30% reduction in major cardiovascular events, heart attacks and strokes, compared to the low-fat control group. This wasn't a mouse study. This wasn't a supplement ad. This was thousands of real people tracked for years. And your liver sits at the center of that entire metabolic story, managing the cholesterol, the fats, and the inflammation that drive those very outcomes. And notice what they did not do. They didn't starve themselves or cut all fat. They added the right fat. That single shift moved the needle on longevity events. It's proof that longevity often isn't about eating less. It's about feeding your refinery the fuel it was built to run on. How to make the spoon count. So how do you actually turn this into results? 3 simple rules. 1. Buy real extra virgin olive oil. Look for a harvest date, a dark bottle, and that peppery throat sting. No sting, no oleocanthal, no point. 2. Don't drown it in heat. Extra virgin oil is beautiful for drizzling, dipping, and finishing dishes. High polyphenol oils are actually more heat stable than people assume, but blasting it at extreme temperatures still degrades the delicate compounds. Treat it like a finishing touch, not deep fryer fuel. 3. Pair it, don't chug it. Olive oil helps your body absorb fat-soluble nutrients, like the antioxidants in tomatoes and leafy greens. A spoon over a salad does far more than a spoon swallowed alone. And a bonus rule most people miss: timing beats dosage. One honest spoon on real food every single day outperforms a giant glug once a week. Your liver doesn't reward heroic one-offs. It rewards the quiet, boring consistency almost nobody has the patience for. Now, let me be the honest voice in a sea of hype. 1 spoon of olive oil is not a magic bullet. It will not undo a diet of ultra-processed food, sugar, and sleepless nights. Anyone promising that is selling you something. But that's not the real story here. The real story is that a single humble spoonful sends a signal, a message to your liver's fat-burning pathways, its inflammation switches, and its cellular cleanup crew. And when that signal is repeated day after day, consistency after consistency, that's where transformation lives. Your liver is the silent refinery that never asks for thanks. The least you can do is send it the right fuel. Because here's the truth nobody monetizes. Your liver has a stunning capacity to heal itself, but only if you stop poisoning it faster than it can repair. The spoon isn't the hero, you are. The oil just hands your body the tools. What you do with them every single day writes the ending.